All right, deliver us from evil, the last petition of the Lord's Prayer. I wanted to ask you today, as we continue to further ourselves along in this, what do you think it will be like in heaven? That's what we're praying for, right? That the Lord would take us home to be with him forever, according to his good timing. And there's nothing better. What do you think it'll be like? You want to talk about that as your family? What do you think it will be like to see Jesus? Is there anything better than to be in God's presence forever and worship him always? And if we ever think that heaven is less than exciting, because it's just one grand eternal worship service, again, that's evidence that we don't see things clearly, that our sinful nature still has a hold on us, that we would ever think being with God would be boring. Or this thought that people might have, well, I don't want to go to heaven because none of my friends are there. I'd rather have a good time in hell, which that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Okay, maybe I've heard other things that are dumb too, but that's just foolishness. So what do you think heaven will be like? Just dream about what do you think that'll be like. As we've seen in other passages, that no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart can conceive of all that God has prepared for his people. So it's fun to talk about it. What do you think it'll be like to see Jesus, to be in God's presence forever? What do you think we'll be able to do in heaven? And remembering this too, God created every good thing here on earth for our enjoyment. Why do we think heaven would be less? Think about those things, talk about those things. I'm going to read you a couple passages about what's coming for those who believe, for us who believe and love Jesus, who pray this petition in full faith, deliver us from evil. Revelation 21:5. We'll start from Psalm 84, verse 10, and then we'll get on to Revelation 21:5. The psalmist says in Psalm 84:10, better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. So I love that the psalmist says, I'd rather just have to be in God's presence, to be just at the door, opening the door, shutting the door for all eternity would be so much better than to be in the tents of the wicked, no matter what kind of parties they're throwing. Just how great and awesome heaven will be. Of course, when he calls us to be home, we're not going to just be doorkeepers there either. So, awesome passage. Revelation 21:5. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. Heaven is reality that God is shaping, and it's new. And there's none of this pain or suffering or sorrow in this old order of things. Jesus said this in John 14:2-3, right before he would win our salvation and secure this promise on the cross. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I'm going away to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and welcome you into my presence, so that you also may be where I am. That's a promise Jesus made, which he sealed in his blood in less than 24 hours by his cross, and within 3 days by his emptying of his tomb, which is your future and mine. Death now is the gateway to heaven. And that's what we pray for. Deliver us from evil. All right, one last video to round out our discussion on this last petition. I hope it's been an encouragement to you so far. So tune in for one more thought on this beautiful petition, what we're really praying for at the end of the Lord's Prayer.